Building a website used to cost a fortune. Now you can describe one to an AI tool and have it built by lunch, almost for free. So why do nearly all of them look the same? You've seen it, the same hero section, the same rounded buttons, the same 3 featured boxes, the smooth gradients, different logo, but identical bones. Now here's a problem that nobody's talking about when it comes to AI vibe coded websites. Sure, the look and feel is a problem. However, the bigger problem is that they aren't attracting traffic or converting the traffic into leads. Because when you pull one of these sites apart, the same things are missing every time. Generic design, weak copy, no clear pathway for someone who's actually wanting to buy from you. Poor search rankings is a major problem. They have security holes and it doesn't scale. So the moment you grow, you're rebuilding from scratch. And here's the big one: no unique brand positioning. Nothing that tells a visitor why you and not the other 12 tabs they've got open. Now, plenty of websites are missing those things, not just the AI built ones either. And none of this is the tool's fault. It's a step that tools skip. The same step almost every brand has always started with. Miss it and you ship fast? Sure. You blend into the crowd though and wonder why nobody's calling you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that step is and the one question that tells you whether any designer or AI tool is about to leave you invisible. Greg Merrill is here, founder of Studio1Design.com, where we help experts and founders turn disconnected brands into one system that converts attention into paying clients. And it compounds over time. We've done this for over 2,000 websites for businesses and entrepreneurs, including Sylvester Stallone and Frank Oz, the original voice of Yoda. And every one of them started with the same step before a single page was even built or designed. Here's why this matters more now than it did even a year ago. When everyone can generate a decent looking website in an afternoon, well, decent is just the new average. And a prospect, or increasingly an AI, comparing you to a dozen rivals in seconds skips right past average. The thing that makes you the obvious choice was never how the site got built. It was what got decided before the building even started. So what is it, and why do the tools skip it every single time? Here's why the sameness happens. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. An AI builder starts from a template and a giant pile of other websites. It gives you the average of everything it has seen. By definition, that's the middle of the road, smooth, safe, and identical to the next person who's typed in a similar prompt. That could be one of your competitors. And you try to fix it by looking at competitors for ideas, but that obviously just makes it worse. You copy the look that's already winning in your industry, and now you have a slightly weaker version of them. Originality was your one real edge, and you just traded it away. And blending in is only half of it, because there's a version of this that's worse. And most people building this way have no idea why this is happening. A lot of these tools, especially the vibe coding ones, build your site so that the content only loads through JavaScript. Which sounds a little bit technical, I get it, but really all it means is that search engines and the AI tools people now use to find businesses like yours can look at your page and see almost nothing. Nothing they can confidently read or cite or recommend. So you didn't just build a site that looks like everybody else's, you actually built one that Google and ChatGPT, Perplexity, etc. struggle to see at all. Sit with that for a second. You can have a site that looks perfectly professional and be effectively invisible to the exact people searching for what you sell. Not ranking badly, you're just not there at all. To be fair, not every AI builder does this, and it's fixable, but it's the default, and the defaults are what costs people the most. And this isn't only a startup problem. The more established you are, the more it stings. You've got the reputation, the results, the track record, and you still hand a designer good money, wait a few weeks, and hope what comes back finally looks the part. In my book, I call that a leap of faith. And whether a human or AI is doing the building, hope is not a brand strategy. So the fix isn't a better tool or a better prompt, it's deciding how you look on purpose before anything gets built. And here's how that's actually done. It starts with the two things that the AI tools have no way to give you. One is a roadmap and one is a mood board. Let me explain them. So first, the roadmap is the strategy. It unpacks who you actually are, who you're for, and why you're the right choice. I've covered that in another video, so today I'll stay on the piece that makes you look like nobody else, the mood board. And right now, half of you just pictured a Pinterest collage. Well, that's not what we do at Studio One. So pretty images have no point. That's the trap. Most mood boards are decoration. Ours is built to do one job, which is to make you look distinctively different and to make you a website that attracts leads and turns those leads into clients. Because here's what most people miss. A mood board isn't a mood. It's a stack of decisions, and every decision has to line up with three things. One, who you are and how much you charge. Two, what you actually offer. And three, how are you different from your competitors? Get that alignment wrong, and even a beautiful brand works against you. Put a premium price behind a cheap, busy, brightly colored look, and people quietly decide you're not the premium choice that they had hoped for. The problem is they'll just leave without saying a word. So flip it the other way. An expensive looking brand sitting on a budget offer makes people assume that you're out of their reach, so they leave. So the visuals set the price expectation before your price ever does. So the look has to fit your market, your price point, and your offer. And then it has to do one more thing the tools will never do for you. It has to go against the grain of your category on purpose. Because every industry drifts into a sea of sameness, and AI is making it worse these days. Everybody reaches for the same corporate blue, the same stock images, the word excellence on every homepage, we're the best, premium offer, blah, blah, blah. And when you look alike and people can't distinctively tell you apart, they just decide on price. So our job is to find exactly where your rivals zag so you can deliberately zig. Not different just for the sake of it, but different in the way your ideal client actually cares about. That's why we start with a strategy session. We figure out what your business does, who it serves, your competitors, how you are different, what you want people to feel when they land. Then we research. We go deep into your market to find the gap that nobody's standing in. And only then does our brand director create the mood board itself. The color palette with a deliberate contrast color just for the call to action button color, and we make sure it matches your brand. We don't want it to blend in so that nobody clicks it. The typography needs to stay readable across all devices, so we ensure we use Google Web Fonts. A photography direction so that all of your imagery looks like you and your team and not stock. We create custom icons and textures so you're recognizable as unique. And we sample layouts so you can see exactly what you're going to get before we even design a single page. You approve the direction first, then only then we get started on the design, which sounds good in theory, right? But the real question is whether it moves the needle or just makes the brand prettier. So let me show you what it did for a real business. A premium landscaping and drainage company based in Chicago came to us getting plenty of traffic, but very few quality leads. The site didn't reflect how good the work was, so the prospects turned up with no confidence in the brand, and they backed out the moment they heard premium pricing. So that was a waste of our clients' time. So what we did before a single page was designed, we built the mood board and every choice traced back to those three things: their market, homeowners who care about quality, the price points. So the look had to feel high-end, not cheap and cluttered, but we didn't want it to look too high-end. You'll see the color palette reflects that. And then their offer, backed by a 10-year guarantee. So that's something we really lent into. It's a powerful differentiator. So we went earthy but premium. tones that signal reliability and professionalism. The photography direction throughout the stock images and use their actual before and after projects, real photos of the client, or even put his family on the about page, just to give it that brand personality and to show the real people that are approachable and relatable behind the business. And here's what happened. They had 3 times a monthly call volume, their lead to client close rate doubled, and a real lift in average project value because better qualified prospects were arriving in confidence with the brand. Same company, the same guarantee, the brand finally matched the quality of the work, which is the whole game. Except a great direction still has to survive the build. And this is where I'll answer the question you might be forming right now, which is fair enough. If AI builds sites and the problem, what are we doing with AI? We use it heavily, but there's a line and it matters. AI assists our team, but it doesn't replace them. The strategy is human, the roadmap is human, the mood board is human. AI helps us move faster through the parts where speed is genuinely useful, and it has taken a process that used to run into 3 or 4 months down to about 4 weeks without affecting the quality at all and without handing the quality to a machine. Then AI assists us with the hand coding of your site rather than shipping directly with whatever the AI tool spits out. So it's light, it loads fast, and the content is actually there on the page for Google and ChatGPT to read, not buried behind JavaScript. And we still put all the meta titles and page descriptions and all the linking and everything else that needs to go into the page to help boost the site's authority. And if you already have a website, we bring your existing posts, your podcasts, your key pages, and your entire URL structure across to keep that search value that you spent years building instead of handing it over to an AI to quietly ruin on launch day. Same speed, everyone's chasing, none of the invisibility. And once you're live, everything from the mood board becomes your brand style. So every future asset stays on brand, which matters more than it sounds because every asset that came out of the same mood board can't contradict each other. They physically can't tell a different story. Your brand, your website, your content all pointing a prospect to the same conclusion that you are the right choice. That's the thing a template or a rushed prompt never gives you. Not a prettier page, a brand that holds together. Which brings us back to the question I opened with. It's one line and it works. Whether you're hiring a designer or choosing a tool, before anything gets built, will you show me the visual direction made specifically for me? If the answer is no, walk away. You're about to look like everybody else. A template, a guess, a blend of the whole industry. In this fast-moving AI era, you need an edge. You need a way to stand out. In your market, your niche, you need to zig where your rivals are zagging. Look, if you're a serious business owner, a founder, a coach, a consultant, an author, a content creator, or a service business that genuinely cares about results, but whose brand doesn't make the obvious choice yet, ask yourself, do you want to look like everybody else? Or do you want to stand out in a way that's completely unique and memorable? If you're pulling in price shoppers instead of the clients your reputation deserves, or your brand, your website, and content have drifted apart and no longer tell one clear story, that's exactly the leak that we close at Studio One. It's with a system that compounds, and it's not another one-off redesign you'll outgrow in a year. We call it the Authority Growth Engine, and it connects the strategy, the roadmap, the mood board, the website, and everything after that point, including all of your social media graphics. So each piece feeds the next instead of fighting for attention. So before any of that, you need to know where your brand is actually leaking. So here's your next move. We've built a free brand positioning scorecard that shows you exactly where your website and brand are losing leads and what to fix first. It only takes a couple of minutes. Go to studio1design.com/positioning-scorecard. The link is also in the description. Because the only question left is whether someone landing on your brand and website today can instantly tell that you are the right choice, or whether you blend into thousands of websites in your niche that all look similar. Right now, the answer is either winning new clients or losing them. Let's make sure it's winning. If you've got something out of this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.